Welcome to Leigh Woods. I'm Sian, I'm the Community Ranger for Forestry England, and as part of the Festival of Nature we're going to give you a woodland walk tour of Leigh Woods to learn what's going on here. We're going to follow our red trail, which is one of two walking trails that we've got on site. It's about 1 kilometre long, and we're going to stop and chat about the things that we see on the way. This is our green barn, which is sometimes booked out by education and community groups so that their groups can have the benefit of coming and experience woodlands. We've got all sorts of activities going on here, from adult forest bathing sessions to forest schools for young people. I really like this spot next to the barn because it's got some great examples of lots of different tree species. This one's a cherry tree, which I can tell because it's got horizontal lines on the bark all the way up. But then just right next door, we've got something that's really different, growing with lots of different trunks instead of just one single one. And its leaves are quite hairy and then really round with just a little tiny tip at the end. Which tells me that this one's hazel. I really like this example of this cherry tree with its horizontal stripes and this beech tree, which is quite grey and always reminds me a little bit of an elephant's trunk. I love how they're joined together at the bottom. And then there's also down here this little baby holly tree, which is just joining and making a nice trio of them all together. So as well as being a lovely place for people to come and visit and enjoy, we also grow trees in Leigh Woods, which are going to be harvested at some point in the future for producing timber. So these trees behind us here are all Corsican pine, the same species, and they were all planted at the same time back in the 1950s. They've been planted here deliberately and grown here deliberately, so at some point in the future they can be cut down to produce sustainable timber. So here you can see one of the trees that has previously been harvested. We might harvest every 5 or 10 years, depending on the species. And harvesting means that selected trees will be taken out and used for timber products like fencing or building materials, but it also then leaves the remaining trees more room and more light to carry on growing. We look after different parts of Leigh Woods for different reasons and purposes, and this is an area behind us that we're looking after for wildlife, but also a little bit of timber as well. We know here in Leigh Woods that we've got a population of rare protected European dormice, which is amazing, and we want to make sure that we've got habitats for them for now and in the future. We've cut this area as a coppiced coop, which means we've cut all the deciduous trees down to the floor so that they will grow back with multiple different stems. That's going to provide different light levels for different woodland flora to get in. So we're going to get bramble growing and different woodland plants. Eventually those trees grow back in different shapes. That's going to provide the habitat that the dormice really like. It won't be ready for maybe 10 or 15 years, but we've made sure that we've got that ready for the future. As we've cut down some of the trees, that is also going to produce sustainable timber products. So we'll go into the coop and have a little look at what they'll be used for. So this coop has been cut by a professional coppiced company called coppiced, who are really passionate about getting woods back into sustainable management and also preserving the heritage skills associated with woodland management. So as they cut all the trees in here, they process the wood into different piles according to what product it's going to be in the future. So something like this here, which is about 7 foot tall and just about probably an inch in diameter, will probably be used for hedging and fencing. Whereas bigger products like this will be turned into charcoal. They'll bring a kiln onto site and then they'll turn it into charcoal. The smaller brush material that's left over from the trees, the sort of twigs, that is all piled up into big long piles like that, and that will stay on site to be a habitat for small birds and small mammals that would like to go and make a home in there. So here is a stool, so a tree that has been coppiced, cut down to the floor. You can coppice most species of deciduous tree, but the ones that have been done in here are hazel, like this one, ash, sweet chestnut, and lime as well. So as well as regrowing back from these stools that have been cut, we've also done some planting in here as well of new trees. And they were small leaf lime, which were hand-picked from trees growing here in Leigh Woods, sent off to a nursery, and then brought back here, so they're growing in the place which their parent trees originated from. Here's one of our baby lime trees that we planted with some volunteers. I always remember how to identify a lime tree by its leaves and the alliteration of love heart lime. This is our coppiced coop that was cut about 3 years ago. So you can see how it's turning into bushes with lots of different staves or trunks. This coppiced coop was cut by some volunteers who came to help us with some conservation tasks and also have all the benefits for their mental well-being as well. So they cut the trees by hand, and then they used the material to create this amazing dead hedge, which will help those trees regrow by discouraging deer from going in there, but also provides a really great habitat for small mammals and small birds who love to kind of scramble all along it. We've just reached the end of the Red Trail here at Leigh Woods. I hope you've found this little peek behind the scenes really interesting. Thank you ever so much for watching. We hope you've enjoyed it.